13 films, 44 years in the making, from 1978 to 2022. I'd like to believe that that is going to be the last film. Now, people have speculated and said, well, this probably isn't it because they keep killing him and he keeps coming back. And they did the same thing with Jason. They did the same thing with Freddy. They did the same thing with a lot of these other figures in these horror films, these slasher films. To anybody who hasn't seen the movie, I'm going to try not to spoil it. I know to some of you who already watched it, you already know what I'm talking about. But let's just say this. Based on what they did in this last film right here, the one that just came out, Halloween Ends, based on what happened at the end of the movie, I'm willing to bet that this is going to be the last one. I don't see how he can come back after that one. I really don't see it. Now, I thought the movie was pretty good. I enjoyed that just as much as I enjoyed Halloween Kills, and just like I enjoyed the other Halloween movies. I will say, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I did kind of enjoy the remakes a little more so than the originals. So let's look at some of the reviews here. Now, Google reviews. So when you have, this is the audience ratings from Google. Now, I'm kind of disappointed to see that the average rating here is only 38%. Now, they rated this on a scale of 1 to 5. And the bar at line 1 is way longer than the bars for lines 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, to the people who are like me, who really enjoy these type of films and enjoyed this movie, and are curious to know why somebody didn't like this, well, let's see what one person here says. Let's see. One person here says, I had a real problem with this movie. The start and ending were great, but everything in the middle was so slow and boring. For the ending of this 40-year-long franchise, it was really disappointing. Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills I really enjoyed. Halloween 2018 had a great balance of story and gore, which made it easy for the audience to follow along while also being entertained. Halloween Kills focused more on gore, which I personally enjoyed and thought it was very fitting to see Michael Myers going absolute ham on old characters. However, Halloween Ends focused way too hard on new characters we've never seen before and made Michael look weak. The story was more about this copycat Corey than Michael and Laurie. If I wanted to watch 90 minutes of Corey and Allison fall in love, I would have watched a romance movie, not a well-known slasher series. Overall, this movie bored me, and I was skipping the majority of it. I feel like we should put together another budget to remake this movie and give it a proper send-off. They tried too hard to put something that should have been stretched out over 3 movies into one movie. Do better. The other 2 were excellent in my opinion. Why couldn't you put as much attention and time in the finale? Okay, there might be a hint of legitimacy to what this person is saying. I still think it feels like they did kind of focus a lot on the gore aspect in this movie as well as they did the last ones. Now, yes, did it have a little bit more romance to this one? Sure, but I think they wanted to switch something up a little bit. Now, if you ask me, one of the things that I liked about the movie too, another unpopular opinion, was the fact that they did take away some of the music. So the music generally that you hear from most of the Halloween movies, I probably should have done this before I started the video if I was going to bring this. So check this out. Let's get rid of that. So you have the music that comes before Michael gets ready to kill somebody, which kind of makes it predictable. And they did take away some of that in the last movie, and they took away some of it in this movie. Check it out. Just a little bit. So you already get the point, you know. They didn't do that as much in the last couple films, which I have been constantly pushing for them to do. The reason why is because I, unlike most Halloween fans, I think that it's too predictable, and I think it gives it away. When they don't have the music, it makes it less predictable, which to me is the entire point of a movie being scary, of it being called a horror film. If I can see it coming, it takes away the scare factor. When they don't have the music, it's more unpredictable, so therefore the scare factor is more intensified. It brings about more. So I think it turned out just well for what it did. Now, according to some reviews so Rotten Tomatoes gave the movie a 41%. IGN gave it a 70% on average. I think that's much better. That's good. Sounds about right. I don't know what Rotten Tomatoes was thinking. I already told you the average Google review rating. That was 38%. Metacritic gave it only a 47%, which doesn't surprise me in the least because Metacritic is known for giving harsh reviews of even some of the best of movies and shows and video games. You know, you can have a movie or show or video game that has an average rating of 80 to 90%. Metacritic will still give it a 50% at most. And they think to them that's being nice. So, and now let's see what some of the other reviews said on Google. Now let's look at the middle review. So the people who gave it 3 stars, one person said they should have made a short film instead using the last 45 to 50 minutes of the film. I was pretty hooked. One person said, I don't understand why there has to be such vulgar language in this movie. Or any movie. The plot and action was good. Well, I don't know what to say about that one because most horror films generally have that type of language. And I mean, most horror films, you have a lot of different types of movies that do that. I mean, so I really can't say much about that. The movie was more about Corey than Michael. For the last one, it could have been better. Halloween Kills blew this one away. I think it was a great way to wrap up the storyline, but I wish there was more classic Michael Myers in the movie and less Acorde, but I get the plot. Had me in the beginning, but slowly lost me towards the end. It was slow. It was basically all Corey in this one. Wish there was a better ending. Let's see what the 4 and 5 stars said. My family and I absolutely loved it. I love the twist, and I'm sad to see the franchise end. It definitely wasn't as quote-unquote slasher as previous movies, but it was a great end to Halloween. Thank you for the amazing actors, and we will miss you, Michael and Laurie. Wow, what an incredible film. Suspense, drama, action, and most of all, fun. This is a classic Halloween movie, which means all the great characters that we've come to love are here. That includes Michael Myers, and in my opinion, Oscar is definitely calling this time around. The only criticisms I have of the movie is that it's named Halloween Ends. This makes me sad, and I am not ready for this franchise to end. In fact, there could easily be another 4 or 5 movies here, if not more. I give this film 5 bags of popcorn and a VCR so that you can record this movie, hit the rewind button, and you'll never have to let this movie end. So people, just to kind of give you a basic of what the reviews were like for this movie. So, you know, it's actually streaming on Peacock. If you don't have Peacock, I suggest signing up, get the free trial, watch it, and then cancel it before the free trial ends. Or if you still have time, if you want to catch it in theaters, you know, some people prefer the theatrical experience over just watching it over a TV at home. Depending on, you know, if you're a horror film fan, if you like Halloween, I'd suggest watching the movie. I think it's worth at least one watch. So that's kind of the basic of that. And the other question are there going to be other films after this one? Again, after what they did to him, I don't see that happening. They would have to come up with an incredibly remarkable continuation story, or they would just rehash a lot of the stuff that they did before. They're just going to keep, how many times have they remade Halloween? So the original Halloween came out in 1978. Then they did a remake in 2007. Then they did another remake in 2018. So that was the 3rd remake for there. And then Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends were the continuation of the 2018 remake. Or should I say re-remake. So I suggest giving the movie a watch. I thought it was pretty good. Great job to Jamie Lee Curtis and the rest of the cast. And we'll see what happens from here.